You want to build an amazing real estate business organically, but you're not sure where to start, or even if it's possible to have a big business. You're going to want to hear this interview with Mike Corbett, who has closed 27 deals on social media alone just by being himself with no paid ads. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're all about growing your real estate business with powerful systems whilst making a bunch of money and still having time to spend with your family and time for yourself. My name's Alisia Krastel, and we do this every week. All right, I've got Mike Corbett with me here today. He is from North Carolina at the Real Brokerage. He is an amazing human, but also what he's done in real estate through social media is just an unfathomable. So he's going to share everything with you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, dude. You're awesome. Like, I remember the first time I saw you on TikTok, I was like, I like this chick. Who is this person? She's awesome. So thank you. Like, this means a lot for you having me on. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. This is amazing. I'm so ready for this.
It's so cool. You said we met on TikTok, and I think one of the things that drew us maybe to be friends is that like you are just who you are and I am just who I am. And there's no filter. Like, this is it. So
100%.
tell us a little bit about what you've been able to accomplish. I teased it earlier, but really, what have you been able to accomplish, and just lay it out for us?
Well, I'm coming into my 5th year of being licensed as a real estate agent here in North Carolina. So, when I started out, I did the traditional stuff. I did the door knocking, the cold calling. I paid for Zillow leads in 2018. I did all that, and I went completely broke. I had a Dollar General Christmas for my kids one year. Probably the lowest point in my life where I felt I had failed as a father and I failed in my business. So I knew I had to do something different, and this was obviously pre-TikTok, stuff like that. This is in 2019. I was like, I need to get my name out there, but I have zero money now to buy leads or have a videographer, somebody to come film me. So I started filming myself. I literally started out with a cell phone, like an iPhone 10 or something. Might have been a 9 actually, but and a little tripod, and I just started making content. And I committed myself for 6 months that I was going to make content every day for 6 months, and I was going to post it. Anything and everything I was going to post on social media, having these aspirations that, man, if I post enough, people that follow me on social media will now begin to trust me before they actually meet me. And when it becomes time for them to do real estate, they're going to think of me because they've seen me so often. And it literally took me 6 months to the day to get my very first lead. I made 180, 200 videos in those 6 months. Got my first lead the day I was heading to an interview to go back into the car business. And
all with your cell phone.
Yes, I had, yeah. I never, if people see my content now, I've never touched a camera until 2019. Never picked up one, never recorded anything, never edited anything, nothing. Like, I'm 100% self-taught. And I started with my cell phone, and I got that lead, and it was a seller lead, got it sold, made a video, and then I had 12 clients back to back to back to back to back after that 6-month period. And that sold me on doing content. And I've invested everything that I have all in making content. And I would probably say 98%, if not a little bit higher, is directly from social media of all my business.
You said about 20, well, you did say 27 transactions, 8 from Facebook, and the rest all from TikTok.
Yes.
And you're projected to be at about 8 million this year with almost all of them.
Yeah, I should be. Like I said, I've got 3 listings coming up in 2 weeks, and I've got 2 other closes happening should be happening in December. So I should finish somewhere like 8.5-ish. That's why I never really keep track of that, but I had to look this morning. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be somewhere around 8.5.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what your goal is. If it's 3, 4, 10, whatever, it's the fact that look at what you've been able to do. Yes. And I made sure this morning, I'm like, you haven't paid for ads, right? You're like, no, all organically. So this isn't him making content and then like boosting it or putting it out there or paying for followers. Like, it's organic.
Yes. Everything that I've ever posted, I think I've got, last I looked on all my platforms together, I've got like 40 something million views on my content. And every one of those has been organic. I've never paid to, like I said, I started out, I had no money. I didn't have the money to boost. Yeah. And So I just kind of stayed in that habit and I just posted organically. And, I got lucky, a couple of those took off and here we are. So I think it's more just being consistent about it, just posting consistently.
Consistently. Is it you didn't have like it didn't sound like you took some expensive class or figured out everything. You just kind of like put yourself out there.
Yeah, I literally just hit the record button and I just went at it. And I think the people that are watching, like if you're new into making content, your first year, probably your first 2 years, your videos are going to suck. They're going to be bad. But at the end of the day, you can't compare, like I look at Brad McCullen, which I know you know Brad McCullen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at his videos, I'm like, wow, like I could never make what he makes. And I can get down on myself if I say that, if I think that, but I'm still going out there and I'm going to do as best job as I possibly can to make this video. Even now, like when I finish editing the video and I look and I rewatch it or I post it, and I'm like, you know what? I missed that beat. I missed that color grade. I missed this. But honestly, not anybody else in the world is going to see that mistake but myself. And I just know that I can take that small mistake or that small failure and I can use it to apply it to my next project. That I just try to keep better, getting better every time when I'm posting content. So just be prepared. Like your first videos are going to suck, but don't let that get discouraging to not post content.
Well, you were 6 months in before you got leads, so your content still might have sucked, but people liked who you were.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like when you decide to hit that record button, you need to be who you are when you wake up in the mornings and you're brushing your teeth, looking in the mirror. You need to be that person. That's the thing. I think me and you, I think we vibe so well together is because we're honestly authentic to a fault. Like I am not going to change how I dress, what I drive, how I talk for any type of client. If that client doesn't like my personality or me as a human, I don't need their business. Regardless, if they're $1 million client, I don't need that. I don't want it. And I tell them that up front that I'm very authentic and I'm very blunt and honest to the point. But you will always know where you stand with me as an agent, that I'm going to be 100% authentic and trustworthy into that point. And I think that gives you
the repel and attract.
Absolutely,
like
absolutely.
People, you're also going to suck those people in who are like you and are like, yes, please, no bullshit. I love this.
Exactly. I live by, if my business had a motto, it'd be your vibe attracts your tribe. Like I believe that so much that I want to work with people that are like me, that think like me, that talk like me, that that act like me, and I don't want to just work with somebody to work with somebody. I want somebody to become a homie, man. Like I want them to be part of the family. And so that's the thing. Like I project that so much. And yes, I'm rough around the edges, obviously, and I've got tattoos and I cuss a lot, but that doesn't hinder my ability as an agent. It's just who I am. And I know that I'm not going to attract those big $1 million clients, and I am totally okay with that. I'm good with working.
You might, but they might have the same personality as you.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Maybe one day, but I've given up on that. Like I just want to focus on people that I can relate to because I didn't grow up wealthy. We had a middle class home. I honestly, if I walked into $1 million house, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. Like, what is that? Cathedrals or vaulted? Like, what is that? So
that's on transparency right there. Like you're just who you are. Yes. Like, so I'm so glad that you said homie and that you're wearing your homie shirt because you can see a North Carolina homie.
Yes.
This is his logo and brand.
Yes.
I mean, talk about the homie situation and your branding.
So, I didn't realize like how much I actually say the word homie until I started hearing a lot of people like my lenders or other agents that I work with consistently or other teammates. They started repeating it back to me. I was like, wow, I do say that a lot. And I say it as a term of endearment. Like if you call my phone right now, I'm going to answer it. What's up, homie? That's just how I talk. And I was sitting down, this is a couple of months ago, I was sitting down one day, just kind of, I have like all these notebooks and stuff that I keep with me everywhere. So I was sitting down, writing down some ideas for some content. And I started drawing like a house. I was like, wow, home. And then put the E at the bottom, like right there. I was like, homie, shit, that's a logo. And I just went with it. And I actually had my mom design. My mom's a graphic designer, so she designed the logo and everything, and that's what it's my YouTube channel name, and I think it fits me, and it just it feels good to see that. And I've got, when I posted the logo at first, I had a lot of people like, yeah, I don't get it, I don't see it, it doesn't make sense. But I liked it. I thought it fit my brand, it fits me as a person, and it's me. And I just want to, that's how I want to be recognized as home,
I mean,
on
we
that
didn't
side.
even know each other yet. And when we messaged, you're like, hey, homie. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, I guess we're starting off like this. I like it. Okay.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know if you know this, but you are the poster child for something that I teach. It's called, and I say, if you have connection and evidence of success, people will love you and want to work with you. But if you only have the evidence of success, just listed, just sold, all the things, you don't even have to have it like that. But you don't have the connection, you don't have anything. But if you only have the connection, you don't get the business because they friend zone you. But you are always telling the story. And with your shirt and your logo, you put it out on Facebook and like involved everyone in the process. So they're tied to you and they're connected. But you're also like really good at telling the story of like selling a house and like how you help somebody versus I just sold a house. Congratulations.
Yeah, like when I first got into real estate and I saw all these people, once you get your license, you start becoming obviously connected with other agents. You start seeing their social media. And that's all I would see is, oh, just sold. Call me if you're looking to buy or sell. I was like, my thought was this was in 2018, 19. I was like, I know you're an agent. Like, duh, I know that. You don't have to tell me. Like, tell me how it went down. Like, I want to know. I'm curious. Like, I'm nosy. I want to know how it happened. And like when I do my just under contracts and just close. I like to let people into my world and let them know that, bro, real estate is not easy. It's not what I thought it was. I thought we just walked around, showed houses and wrote offers, and it was a good old time. I didn't realize the stuff that we do after it's an escrow. Like I had no idea how hard it is.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to understand that. And, by posting stuff like that, people, they see it and they understand that it's not easy. It's not easy selling a house right now. It's funny you said, because I actually posted right before we got on talking about this house that I had listed. It took us 3 price reductions to get an offer or to get under contract. And I wanted people to see that, like, this is the market now. This is not 2020, 2021 anymore. You can't just do half-ass marketing or half-ass photos or half-ass listing and expect to get these crazy, ridiculous offers. It's just not going to happen.
A
And I
lot of
wanted,
agents would be afraid to do that. They would be afraid that they would look bad if they had a price reduction.
it's there. I mean, it's all in the agent remarks. It's there. They see how many days it's on the market, and that's the thing. Like I let people know that we as agents, we cannot control how fast a house sells. We can only react to the action of what we're getting. We're reactive. We're not out here trying to be the catalyst. And that's one thing like I love to do with my clients, and I think that's just being transparent and being so authentic. Is I told these sellers, like, look, we're listing at the highest top of the market. Only because these 2 comps just sold 30 days ago at this price. At day 7 we got to reduce. At day 14 we got to reduce. At day 20 or before, we've got to reduce if we're not having X amount of showings.
Yeah.
And be prepared. You're going to have to negotiate, do price reductions. You're going to have to keep this house in immaculate condition consistently when we get a showing. And I think, by doing that and telling people that up front, you're not having that weird conversation when you call them. You're like, oh, hey, we got to do a price reduction. Probably, we got to do, you've already had that conversation. You're
You set
done.
the
You're
expectations up front.
exactly. And that's one thing I set those expectations without fear they're not going to hire me. This is the first thing I talk about when I walk into a listing agreement is what I charge and my process of number of days on market. Those are the first 2 things. And if they don't agree with that, or if we can't come to terms at that point, we end the appointment. There's no point to stay there. So I want to let them know up front, this is how I operate, what I do, this is what I charge.
How do the people who are reaching out to you from social media, tell us how the appointments are going? Is it, are you competing? Or are they like, dude, I want you to sell my house. You are it? Or how's that going down?
So when I first got into making content, like 2019, 2020, pre-COVID, I was still competing. People would reach out, hey, I would love to talk with you. Can we set up an appointment? And I come to find out that I was competing with other agents at that side. Once COVID happened and we got on lockdown, that's kind of when my business really jumped off with my content, because I was the only agent. I'm kind of still the only agent in this area that still does this high level videos for my listings. And I got a lot of business from other agents because they couldn't do a video because they didn't know how or couldn't afford to pay for a videographer. So I got all my business that way. And once I started posting these listing videos with my regular content, people started seeing the value that I could bring. And after that, I really haven't competed with other agents since like June of 2020.
How does that feel to have just like, hey, can you list my house?
It's something that will never get old. And I always, the first thing I tell my clients when they message out to me is like, first off, thank you for even reaching out, for even thinking about me. Like, thank you. Cause, you know, people don't know, even like my close people, they don't know how much time I put into this content. You know, there were many days where I'm up 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning editing a crappy video to post that would get 100 views or 200 views, you know, and out there making videos at listings and editing forever. Like, people never saw that. They just saw that tip of the iceberg. And I always let my clients know, like, I can never repay you for an opportunity just to sell your house. And I just make sure they know they're thankful. That I'm thankful for them, because I owe, like, everything that I've gotten as of right now to this moment is because of the content that I've made and people trusting me before they meet me. And I never let them not forget that during the process.
Just by being yourself.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Absolutely.
slick. It wasn't like, you know, this isn't like a mega team or a top agent that has $100,000 to throw at. This is just him, you
Yeah.
being yourself.
Yeah. I'm a solo agent. I've got a transaction coordinator. That's all that I have, but it's me. I am the one man show when it comes to my business. And I want people to know that, like, thank you. You know, if you reached out for my services, you could call anybody. You could literally, you know, throw a football and hit an agent nowadays.
Yeah.
And I'm always thankful for that. It's a feeling that never gets old and it never gets unappreciated.
Looking back, what do you think worked best from your videos? You're like, this was the best.
Honestly, it's the videos that didn't take a lot of time. It was the non-polished, just raw video that did the best. And always that way. And I think people, when they see these cinematic videos, are like, okay, they expect something amazing to see. But when they see this just regular tripod on a cell phone video and it's just you, that's raw emotion. And I think people connect to that emotional status of when you just have a regular video of you at your house, in your car, in your bathroom, wherever you may be. People can relate to that more versus seeing this $1 million home on the lake and all these beautiful stuff inside. So I think the ones that I just posted of me just talking or me being myself correlated the most with my sphere of influence.
TikTok or Facebook? Which one do you think is better?
I mean, TikTok overall, I mean, I've gotten most of my deals from TikTok, or double my deals from TikTok. TikTok has its advantages. TikTok is where you can go to really provide factual information and grow a very strong community of people that trust you and follow you. Facebook, you know, that's the people that are local to you. Those are your local people. That's your roots. You know, I think TikTok will get you the recognition by being consistent within the app and having followers from all across the world, but still being in Facebook is going to get you those local results and those local connections. That's kind of hard to get on TikTok at that side. So, I mean, I would always choose TikTok over Facebook, but I think Facebook has a better ROI than TikTok does if you stay consistent with it. You know, if I look at my numbers, which I don't have my numbers, I'm like 99% sure Facebook is going to outweigh TikTok on the number of closed transactions that I've had in my career.
In your career, yeah, because the relationships. I wanted to ask, I wanted to ask you, how often are you posting Facebook and TikTok? And also, what's the feedback you're getting when people do reach out to you? Are they like, how are they reaching out to you?
So I'm glad you asked this question. This is going to be kind of like a double-sided answer, I think. So obviously, my backstory, I've been posting content literally every day since 2019. So I want to let people know, like, especially if you're going to get started in making content, or to the people that's like you that make content consistently, I want you guys to understand, it's okay if you don't post every day. It's okay if you need to take a break for a week, 2, or for a month. It's okay. Your business is not going to die. Back in June of this year, I was just overwhelmed. I was stressed out. I was, busy with work, and I felt content wasn't fun for me back in June. Took a break. I had to. I was burnt out. Burnt out from making the content every single day. I was burnt out, and I had to take a break. I wanted to spend more time this summer with my kids, because obviously that's the most important thing, is my family. I'm a single dad of 2 kids, and I don't have very many summers left with them until they're teenagers and they hate me. So I want to enjoy these moments. So I took the summer off, and I really didn't post much content. And what's crazy is my business didn't suffer not a single penny. I actually ended up having a record month in July and August. I did right at $55,000 in gross sales in July, and like 45,000 in August.
Do you think that's the freedom that consistency built for you? You were consistent for so long. It was
Absolutely. Absolutely. People, in my sphere, I'm established. People know that I do this content video. And what's crazy is, when I took this break, I've had so many people text me, message me, like, Mike, are you okay, bro? Where have you been? I haven't seen you. Did they throttle your videos? Like, what's going on? I'm like, no, I've been working, and I've been a dad. I've just took some time off. But, just want people to know that it's okay. If you need to take a break, take a break. Because at the end of the day, your biggest asset to your business is yourself. It's not how much content you post. Those are just the results. The biggest asset is yourself. You need to make sure your mental health is good, that your priorities are in line. If you need to adjust, adjust. At the end of the day, so I know, I've kicked it back up. I've switched into focusing more on YouTube than I have, on my other platforms, because I like, YouTube is the king of ROI. It takes time, but at the end of the day, that evergreen content that's searchable to find my homies, that's the way to go. And that's where I've put all my eggs in this basket right now, is focusing on YouTube and really pushing that content to compete with people that are either moving to my state or people that are moving to my area from within my state. Because I know I can't compete with these local agents that were born and raised here, that been doing it for 30 years. I can't compete with those people. So I'm going to try to get people that are moving here and establish my business that way. So, but in a roundabout way, when it comes to content, once a day is fine, or once every other day is fine. You need to find a schedule that is viable. So if you're going to tell me you're going to post 3 times a day, can you do that for 3 years, 4 years? Can you do that? Is that physically obtainable? And most people are going to say no, because it's not.
Yeah. Not 5 times 1 week, and then like once, and then like nothing. That's the problem.
Exactly. So
you have to trust you.
Absolutely. Do something that's viable. If you're posting once every 3 days, or once every other day, or whatever it may be, stay consistent with that. And, I'm a big thing in, I batch film my stuff. I've got 3 videos that I'm editing for my YouTube channel, 3 full videos that I batch filmed 2 weeks ago. So batch filming is important. So you need to make sure you set up a schedule of what day you can be unbothered for 3 hours, and be consistent with it. I usually do Monday from 9 to 12. Those are my filming days that I do my content, film everything, and I don't do anything else. And then, when it comes to looking at the product, once it's done, don't critique it, just post it. Especially if you're new. Don't sit there like, oh my God, I hate the way I look. I'm too skinny. I'm so country. Whatever. Don't post it.
Yeah.
Because People know what you look like, they know what you sound like. You're not gonna stop talking to somebody in person. If somebody asks you about real estate, why would you stop in front of a camera?
Yeah. What's cool is that you're setting 9 to 12 to make video, and then it's going to have this long effect. Like people are going to be able to keep finding it. It's not like cold calling where you have to do like every day, continue, and you can never stop. This works while you're sleeping or where you're playing with your kids, or 4 and 7, right?
Yes.
So when you're playing with your kids, somebody's watching this video about maybe moving to North Carolina. You're like, I like this guy,
Absolutely.
and he knows what he's
Mhm.
talking about.
Mhm.
So
100%. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, me and you were so big on finding our tribe. And YouTube, people are searching for people to trust.
yeah.
And that's who I want. I want that person.
They're literally looking for you. They're looking for you to use the solution.
Exactly. You just got to give them a reason to keep coming back.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Let me see. Oh, you didn't say about the feedback. What was the feedback when people reach out to you?
Like, all right, so feedback as in like my videos, or like, what do you mean?
Like, I called you because, or like, I'm reaching out because I saw this, or whatever.
What's crazy is a lot of my feedback, it's, the first thing is like, hey, I've been following you for a while. I would love to set a time to chat with you about real estate. That's usually like the first opening line, which is so cool. Like these people, I don't know this person. They've been following me for 6 months, a year, 3, whatever it may be. And we instantly, once we start texting back and forth, it's like I've known this person already. They know so much about me, and I'm learning about them. And I think clients like that. I think clients love to talk about themselves, and you're learning about this person that knows everything about you. If you post like how me and you post, being so authentic and open, and this is what I'm doing. We're putting the whole conversation on the sellers, and that is just, they've already built trust in you. Now you got to build trust in them. So it's a complete reverse effect with the feedback. But all my feedback, my people they're genuinely asking questions about real estate, like how to get started, like how do I get pre-approved, or hey, I want to sell my house, I don't know what to do. How do I do it? Okay, great. Let's, are you free tomorrow? I set a time with them to either do a Zoom meeting or a phone call first, and kind of just walk through the process. And then I set a time to come out and look at the house, and that's where we really dive into, okay, here are the comps, here's my fees, this is what you need to do, or this is what I can do for you, and we go right into the process at that side. But most of my leads, they're warm to hot leads, like they're ready to go, or they're
nurturing.
Not really, no. It's usually my buyer clients are their nurturing ones, because they're like, I need to get pre-approved, I'm trying to do this. So you're going through that process. But my seller clients, which I get more sellers than I do buyers, my seller clients, they're either within a couple of weeks, or they're like, hey, I need to get my house on the market in like 2 weeks. Like, let's go. So it's like the DM that I got last week. We're getting their house staged next week, and it's going active the first week of December. And they messaged me last week. So, they're ready to roll. So that's usually how my feedback goes on the selling side.
Okay. So you've already built the trust. They're ready to go. That's a pretty nice situation to be in. Like, hey.
It is. It's really hard to explain, like the feeling, like it's like, it makes you feel good that the time that I've sacrificed, those late nights, those driving everywhere to make content, and all that time when people said that the video was dumb or stupid or you're embarrassing as a real estate agent, it all comes back. It's like, it was worth it.
Does it feel like an honor? Because it feels like an honor to me sometimes when people are like,
it really does. When you've gained trust into somebody you've never met face to face, how do you emotionally categorize that? Like, it really is. It's hard to simplify it down to what it is. You just can't repeat it. It's just it's not like an aha moment.
Very surreal and hard to believe.
It really is. It really is.
It is. So we got that you are making the videos, you get the clients, you're doing all this great, amazing things. What are like the tools that help you make it easier? What have you learned along the way that either you wish you would have known or that you use now that just makes it easier?
So the first thing is getting a book or typing notes, something. Like, I keep books with me everywhere I go, and I write down ideas. I have like a a bin full of these kind of books somewhere in my closet somewhere from years ago. And like, I still to this day, I just write down ideas. It may be the most far-fetched Steven Spielberg budget idea ever, but I still write it down. Like, I wrote down an idea the other day. Is like, I want to skydive out of a plane into a new listing. Is that feasible? Probably not.
Well, now that you said it out loud, someone might
Yeah,
say
I've never skydived. So if y'all see that, so maybe one day I'll do this, and you'll be like, oh wow, like 2 years ago he did say that. So who knows? But that's what I'm saying. Just write down the idea, and I think for me, by doing that, it keeps my creative side going. Because people always say, dude, you're so creative, you can see things like that. I'm really not. I am not a creative person. I just write down whatever randomness comes in my this ADHD brain, and I put it on paper.
You're kind
And
of
I just kind of every now and then I purge back through it, and that's helped me so much with these ideas and writing down things. The second thing would be, don't be too hard on yourself. One, I don't care what level you are in making content. If you're a professional videographer, or if you're somebody that can't even process a PDF, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't worry about that it's not cinematic enough, or it doesn't look like it does on these other videos. Just post it. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen is nobody sees it. And if your video sucks, which they're going to for the first couple of months, the algorithm is not going to feed it to anybody anyway.
Yeah.
So nobody's seeing it, so, get out of that catastrophic thinking and just post it.
It's the best time to suck in the beginning.
It really is, because I look at it this way, like, if you start really making these really amazing content consistently, your people are expecting that all the time. And that's a really heavy belt to carry, all the time. So just post it. Don't worry about the look. Just make sure that your audio is clear and that I can see you. That's all you need to focus on. And I don't care how good your message is or how strong it is. If I can't hear you or see you, I'm not going to watch it. Yeah. So just focus on the audio and the lighting, and then just post and just keep posting. Don't worry about the feedback. Just keep posting.
So you have a mic. Is it expensive mic, or could you just do you use AirPods? Because it doesn't have to be expensive, right? Or do you think?
I've got it all. This is it's a blue mic. I think it was $125 maybe. And then my lighting stuff that I've gotten, I got these at Black Friday last year off Amazon. It was 2 of them. It was like $185 total. Only thing, the most expensive thing that I've got is my camera, which I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Is a Sony A7R4. That's my most expensive thing. But other than that, like my lighting and my mic, I'm probably $350 total for that. And that's like,
and you don't need it.
No, you can get a couple of ring lights and use your AirPods or get a wireless mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
you could
stop you, anybody.
You could really spend $150 and get nice lighting and a nice mic, and you're ready to roll. Realistically.
How many agents have been like, Mike, you have inspired me to do this?
That's cool. It's a lot. That's one thing that's really cool is I'm just a regular guy. I'm nothing special. I just like to make content and I just post it. I never would have thought that the content that I've made, or me being just so authentic, would have inspired somebody to make content, and then seeing them get success off of making content. That's really cool. Like, it's like, wow, me, like me for real. Like, dude, like I'm so glad you even thanked me. Like, that means more to me than you'll ever know. Those are really cool. When people, there again, it just goes back to that feeling like, you can't explain it. It's just, you can never repay it. And it's just a really cool thing to give somebody, because I know, I had Bob Tompkins. I know you know Bob, right?
Yeah.
Bob Tompkins was that guy for me. He gave me that little push back when I was starting out in content. And I remember what that was like, having somebody help me when I didn't know anything. And I kind of want to always give that back. If somebody reaches out to me asking about content, or how do I get started, I'm happy to take 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it may be. Because you never know what you're going to say will directly affect somebody's business. Because if I didn't have that conversation with Bob, I know I would have gave up on real estate. I would have quit because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But having that little bit of faith somebody put in me kind of lit a fire.
It's cool that you're the spark, but it also shows like it's not just Mike or Alicia that can do this, because sometimes people say, well, you did that, but I don't think I can. Well, you having that spark is proving other people can do it.
Absolutely, man. I like to tell you, I'm self-taught in everything that I've ever made. I've never held a camera, I didn't know what ISO meant. I didn't know what an aperture was. I didn't know any of that stuff. Literally, if I can do it, anybody can figure this out if you're just willing to take the time. There again, if you watch my content right now, that is almost 4 years in the making. So if you just started making content, I don't expect you to make things like I make. I don't expect you to be able to do a listening video like I do, because that took me 4 years, and God knows how many video. God, I wouldn't even know where to count how many videos. But it's just I stayed consistent. I understood when I messed up, and I was honest with myself. All right, I can't do that, but I can figure out a way to make it a little bit better next time.
And you were getting listings the whole way. You didn't
Yes.
start now because you're great. You've been getting them the entire
Yes.
way.
Yes. Yes. The
You said
listings.
go ahead.
I will say the listings. When you do a video for a listing, it is not guaranteed that it's going to help you sell that house. It's going to help you get the next lead, because people are going to see that, because you're turning a $300,000 house into now a $400,000 house by advertising with a really nice video. And people see that like, wow, he got that house sold by doing that. And I've not seen that before. I need to give him a call. So the videos help you get more leads, and you just have to be able to convert those leads into transactions. That's the key, with the content.
What's your biggest mistake? Help us avoid these mistakes.
Ooh.
Shorten the learning curve.
Okay. I have a bunch, but I'll give you my number one. My biggest mistake was trying to be something that I'm not. I try to mirror my content and my videos to these people that I look up to, that I'm like, wow, I'm in the same room as this guy right now. This is amazing. Like, starstruck. That was my biggest mistake, is I was getting away from being authentic. Like, I'm not going to be doing content that's highly educational, or I'm not going to be doing listing videos that have this really nice mellow tone to it. I'm going to throw rap in there. I'm going to throw rock in there. I want some high beat energy stuff. I'm going to say things in the video that only I'm going to say, and that's me. I want to put my personality into what I create. And before that, I was trying to mimic other people, and I didn't like it. I got where I was like, I don't even want to do the video now, because this is not me. So you can look up to people, obviously, yes, of course, and see what they're doing and try to R&D it, but put your own spin on it. Don't 100%, try to be something that you're not. Be you in everything that you do, and it's going to work out in the long run.
You can kind of feel the switch when it's like, this is just me being me, saying what I want to say, to like performing. Like, I don't perform very good. Like, that's a real problem for me. So,
I'm still like, I can't, like when I make talking head videos for like YouTube or whatever, I have a script, but I can't read it. I can't sit there and read my script, because it feels forced. It's not authentic. And I just talk. And I think more people, if you just get to the point where you have a general idea what you want to talk about, and just talk, just be you. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you look away, or if you say or you say a cuss word by accident or on purpose, whatever, post it.
yeah, totally agree.
Everybody.
So with the shifting market, what are you doing differently? Now, you said you're adding YouTube. Is that because of the shift, or is it just because you wanted? And is there anything else?
So with the shift of the market, I think I've not changed how I advertise. I'm still spending, I think as an average per listing, I spend probably $800 to $1,200 per listing. That's for, photos, videos, that's for any type of ads or marketing or anything that I have to do like internally. So I spend a lot of money on my listings on average. That's not changed. I'm still doing the listing videos. That's not changed. I think what has changed for me in the shifting market is when you first have that conversation with your sellers, to set realistic expectations and timeframes on what to expect without fear they're not going to hire you. If you tell them you want to sell it for 300, they want to be at 330, tell them no, it's not going to happen. And say that with some conviction and authority that if you've done your research, you can't sell it for that. You're wasting time. And I think sellers will respect that. Will they agree? Absolutely not. But if you can provide data to back up what you're saying, it's going to make things easier. So that's really is what's changed is I'm really diving into saying, okay, this is what I'm going to list it at. Yes, this is your house, but I'm the professional. I know the market. This is where you have to be, and sticking to my guns.
Yeah, they do respect
without fear. Exactly. I've lost listings that way. Absolutely. They went with an agent that listed it higher or for less money, and it ends up selling very close to what I told them. And that's fine. I didn't need that client. There's no loss for me.
Kind of like that was right.
Yeah, right. And also too, I've changed what I'm selling. I charge more now. I'm charging more than what I've normally done. And I'm not scared to ask for it.
Because results, baby.
Exactly. I'm going to ask for it. And I'm never going to be the cheapest agent in town. And I tell them that up front. I'm not going to be the cheapest. But you want to get what you pay for at the end of the day.
And that doesn't mean you're not going to make the most with Mike.
Exactly. 100%. Exactly. I'm not here just to make all this money and let people do whatever. No, I have a method behind my madness. And I know now what you talking about creating market, what's changed is my worth. I know what I bring to the table as a real estate agent. And I'm going to charge people for that. And I don't have a problem saying it that way. Because I can get you results. I can show you the results that I've gotten. And this is why I charge what I charge.
You just made me think about we've talked a lot about trust during this call.
Yes.
And what people are going to pay for the most in this market with it shifting is they need trust more than anything. Absolutely. Because of what's going on. So, if they trust you, like you are worth more than the average agent. Like that is key. It's a high value.
Absolutely. 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 I agree. I mean, we have to remember as agents, this is what I tell my clients all the time, my job is to educate, not dictate. You are hiring me for my marketing. You're hiring me to get you through this process to provide you the most data possible to make the best educated decision. That is what you're hiring me for. And, telling them like that, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just here to educate you on if you do it this way, this is probably what's going to happen. I like to give all those scenarios so they completely understand what they're about to do with the decision.
Gotcha. As a dad and doing all the things, how are you balancing and making sure that you can be dad and do all this stuff?
Bro, that's tough. I don't think any single parent has an answer to that. I have my kids 50% of the time. And I don't have any support system here. My nearest family member is 4 hours away. So when I have my kids, it's just me, man. I'm everything. I'm the grocery getter. I'm the bath time giver, the homework giver, the coach of football and basketball and baseball. I'm that. I'm everything. And it's really tough when you're in this real estate business because we're literally one phone call away from being busy for the next 45 days, and it's tough. For me, I have to set boundaries. I tell all of my clients, I am a single father and I cannot be available 24/7. And I'm sorry, I can't. Especially when I have my kids, during the school year, after about 3:30, I'm pretty much done for the day if I have my kids, because I'm doing homework or we got ball practice and we got to cook dinner, we're hanging out, playing. I don't really do real estate after that. And I tell them that up front. But balancing it, is setting boundaries with your clients, let them know that I can't always be there because of this. And of all the deals that I've done in my entire career, I've had one client get upset with me that I was a parent and I couldn't make it to every single showing or it didn't respond within X amount of hours or whatever. I've only had one client. Everybody else respects it and they understand it. and they show you grace
Yeah.
that side. So setting boundaries is very important. Time blocking is very, like right now, I time block from like 10:45 until 12. My kids are downstairs right now. They're playing. So I'm hoping the house isn't destroyed when I go down. But after that, we're going to go see a movie today. Since they're out of school, we're gonna go see a movie and go
Yeah.
hang out. And then when I come back, um, I'm going to do a little bit of work for about an hour, hour and a half, and then after that, I'm in dad mode for the rest of the night.
You set that expectation with me. You're like, hey, my kids might run through. I'm like, awesome, cool. Like,
Yep.
that's why we're talking, right? Because we
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
stuff. We're not going to get ticked off by that.
Exactly. And I think like for the people that are single parents in real estate, it is okay to tell your clients no. No, I'm not bringing my child to come to a showing. No, absolutely not. Or no, I can't meet you at this time, or I can't call you this time because I have my kids.
Yeah.
Don't be scared, because they're not going to fire you because of that. If they do, screw them. They're not part of your tribe anyway. Whatever you were going to make, it's not worth it. I promise you.
Everything he said.
Yeah, because I want my kids at the end of the day to remember that I was present, that I was there for all the football games and the practices, and I was there to drop him off at school and pick him up from school, and I did vacations with him, versus them saying, my dad was a really hard worker. He provided. I want to make sure that I'm present, and that comes first.
Yeah.
And be real with yourself, and your businesses will not be affected if you're just because you're a single parent. It won't. You just
It
want to
can
have
come
to.
first. You're proof, right? Almost you're going to do 8 billion and you're a single dad
Yes.
of little kids.
Yes. Yes. Now, what's cool is like next year, like Chance, my youngest, he's 4. He'll be 5 on Valentine's Day. He'll be in kindergarten next year. So I'm like, oh, bro, like I'm already thinking like, dude, I've got from 8 till 3 every day. Oh, bro, I'm about to make so much more content now. So, because I've got that time.
Yeah.
So, and I know, like, especially if you're a single parent, you have small kids, it's not going to be this way forever, for a few years, so this is not a forever thing. Next year, this time, I'll have so much time. I might even be able to take a nap during the day. Honestly.
You might. All right. Anything that you want to share that's on your heart, you want people to know before we roll out?
Hmm. I guess the biggest thing is like, when you see people like you see people that are making these really cool videos or getting leads, you're like, man, I want to do that. I want to be that person. And you just keep putting it off. You're like, I'm going to start next week. I know I'm going to start tomorrow. I don't know how to do it. At the end of the day, just grab your phone and hit record. Whatever's on your heart, say it and post it. Make content without fear that's going to affect your business. Because at the end of the day, being authentic is going to attract more people than being a top producer or a content creator. Be authentic in everything that you do without fear that's going to hurt your business. And be prepared that agents, I've got 200 plus emails in my inbox from 2019 of agents, making fun of me, sending me emails, a lot of hatred that I was embarrassing the real estate industry by the videos that I were making. Don't let that get to you. Don't feed into the negative, because at the end of the day, people like that, they just want to be able to do something that you're trying to do. And if you want to make content, commit and hit record and post without fear. And I promise you, I like you and me, we're living proof that if you just put the content out there, people are going to gravitate towards you. They're going to trust you, and then they're going to want to spend money with you. Because I don't have to ask for business anymore. People ask me for my time. And that is the power of content, is people see what you provide and they're willing to trust you, and they're going to reach out. It may not be right now, it may not be next week, but when they're ready and you've been consistently posting, they're going to remember you. They're going to reach out.
Yeah. And they may just be like, well, would you be willing to work with us? Or do you have time to work with this? And you're like,
honestly, those are two, like some of the DMs that I've gotten is like, hey, I know you're super busy, but I have a house for like 400 grand probably. Would you be willing to sell that? Hell yes, I would. Absolutely. Let's go. Yeah. So yeah, those emails
Cut
and
this
text
piece and
messages.
put it in the front of the video because it was so.
Absolutely. Yes. They will come. Just those they will come, I promise. You just gotta commit to it. They're gonna come eventually.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. You the man. If you want to reach Mike, I'm going to put all his information below and go check out his YouTube. Give him some love because but you got to watch the video the whole through.
Yes, gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. Watch the whole through.
You go to his
Please.
channel, watch the whole thing.
Just put it down and walk away. That's fine.
All right. And make sure you hit subscribe so you can get the next videos to help grow your real estate business. See ya.
Bye, guys.